Hey there, Maria Mitchell here. Thanks for joining me for another face painting tutorial. Well, Christmas is coming pretty soon, so I just wanted to show you my top four, not five, Christmas face painting ideas, which I have collated, obviously looking online, getting ideas from other face painters. There's plenty of ideas out there, which is great. It's great for all painters to grab inspiration from. But these are the top four that I like to execute when I am face painting at a Christmas function or for a Christmas party. They're lots of fun, and the best thing is that they are super easy to face paint. So stick around, get your face paints out, and let's get painting. Okay, so to start off, we're going to do the Christmas baubles, and what you'll need is some of these dabbers. You don't have to necessarily use them to dab on the baubles. I just find that it's just easy to apply, much easier than a brush, and it does dry quicker than if you've got a brush loaded with just face paint. So what I'll do is I'll grab my my spritzer, and I'm just going to spritz them very, very lightly. You don't want to load them up too heavily. And I will mush that up with the red face paint to make it into a sticky type consistency before we apply it on. Okay, so I've loaded up as much as I think I need, and what I like to do before I start is just dab on my skin just to see that it's not too wet. All right, so to begin with the larger dabber, I'm going to make a circle here. So I'm just going to dab it on the same spot, applying pressure, and I've just twisted it a little just to fill in all the spots that haven't been filled in. Then I'm going to grab my smaller one, and I'm just going to do another bauble, let's say here, right above the eyebrow, like that, and another one, let's say here. Okay, you can make them bigger depending on how much you spread the dabber on. So you could spread it, make the bauble bigger by just covering more area and stretching out, bleeding past the edges of that bauble. So there's your red baubles with an extra dabber. So I normally have the two for the red baubles, and then I'm going to use the green, and I'm going to do, say, a larger one here, and then a smaller one here, and then maybe a little one wherever. Look, you can be strategic as to where you place them, or you can just sort of wing it, depending on the child's face as well, or the adult's face. If they have a smaller face, obviously you're going to want to condense it down a little. If they have a larger face, you want sort of larger baubles and circles. For the green baubles, I'm just going to do one right here, right next to the red one. Now this is like a light green. I'm not a massive fan of the darker green with this sort of thing because it does tend to look quite dark, and you can't really see when you've got detail, like say black strokes to detail the bauble, you can't see it too well. So I'm just going to go along here, and I'm going to do a bigger one here. So by dabbing and spreading the dab in a circle-like motion, you make that bauble, that Christmas bauble, a little bit larger. Yeah, so as you can see, dab, 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 spreading the dab in a circular motion makes it a larger bauble. And there you have the base for your Christmas baubles. I've loaded up another number 2 round brush with some Fusion White, and I'm going to go ahead and go on top of the baubles. I'm just going to do a little rectangle by bringing your brush down and stroking it across, just like that. And again, another one here, stroke across. And another one, stroke across, right up the top of the baubles. Now they don't have to be perfect because we are going to outline them with black. While you have your white loaded, I'm going to go around and highlight the baubles. So just by doing a C, we'll do the reds first because we do carry some of that paint. So all on one side. That just gives it a little shine. Now make sure that you rinse your brush before you pick up some more white to do the green. That way it doesn't carry through any of the red. And now with the green, we're just going to go around and do exactly the same. The next step is to obviously outline all the baubles. So I'm going to go around and start doing that. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're just going to do some little strokes up because that's where they're hanging off the tree or wherever they're hanging from. So you still have your brush loaded. Stroke up and up. What I want to do for it to just sort of stick out a little bit more, I really love putting in some stars. So I'm going to go ahead and do a big star here, flick down, flick up, flick to the sides, and then diagonally. And I'll do another one up the top, up, down, to the sides. It is a magical time of year, so these sorts of stars really do suit the occasion. We'll do another one here, flick up, flick down, flick to the sides, and another one here. So we'll just do 4. Okay, so with a design like this, obviously it's Christmas, I like to put a little sparkle on. So I've just got some gold glitter, and you'd be surprised just by adding a bit of glitter to a design, it just gives it that little extra touch of magic. So by adding the glitter on there, it really does lift it up. And there you have it, Christmas Baubles face paint design. Really quick and easy to put together, as long as you've got the tools, obviously. These are really handy to have in your face painting kit. They're great for bodies for spiders and all sorts of things, obviously making circles and things like that. So yeah, give this one a try. It's a favourite and it really pops with that glitter at the end. Okay, so this next one is a Santa hat, which sits right here on top of the eye. So to start off, I've got a filbert brush and I've loaded up my Fusion white. You can use whichever white you prefer. I like Fusion because it's nice and just creamy. It's a good consistency. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here. We want to start off fairly thick. That's why we're using a filbert brush. I'm going to do a little round curb here, and then do another round curb here, and then just do another round curb here. So it's basically a series of 3 round curbs, and I'm just going to fill in that area just along there. Filbert brush is great for this sort of thing because the edge of the filbert really allows you to get in and do easy curves. So now we're just going to do a little ball circle just below the eye, just down there. Now using the filbert brush, I just want to go ahead and do the outline of the Santa hat. So I'm going to do quite a large, I'm going to start right at the edge here and do quite a large curb around to where that ball is. Just from where the edge is here, I'm going to do a little curb, just like that. Just a curb. And I'm going to try and fill in the areas now. So just fill in. Filbert brush makes it so easy to fill in large areas. Reason why we do the white before the red is that white will never come up vibrant on top of red. So that's the reason why. Okay, so now that we've done all of that, we're going to pick up some black on a number 2 round brush, and we're just going to outline our Santa hat. So we're just going to outline now the white part of the Santa hat. There we go. Now it's crucial for you not to outline the bottom of it because that's where your eyebrow is. So pick up some more of this black and I'm just going to go around the actual Santa hat. Stop there, and it's going to continue along here. Just using the tip of your brush. Really important to practice line work to get your lines nice and neat and in one stroke. So I do have a tutorial just up the top there for line work, just some practice sort of drills to practice your line work, which is so important even with experienced face painters. So just with a number 2 round brush, and I have nicely loaded it up with some white. I'm just going to do some swirls and curls. So I'm going to start along here, just where the base of the hat is, and I'm just going to do a curl up and around, and then I'm going to do some teardrops that come in. 1, 2, and 3. And on the other side here, I'm going to do another twirl going the other direction, just like that. And then the same thing with the teardrops. In, 2, and 3. Just like that. I'm going to finish off with some dots here. And then along this side. To make these dots, it's good to have a heavily loaded brush, so you have quite a blob on the tip of your brush. It just helps because it kind of makes the paint bleed into the skin. And I'll do another one here. And there you have it. Nice and simple. You could puff this up with glitter. It's totally up to you and how much time you have in face painting this Santa hat. So yeah, very basic Santa hat on the eye, but super popular, very Christmassy. And yeah, make sure you give it a go. All right, so for this cool little snowman, which is situated right in the middle of your face, I'm using a rainbow cake from Silly Farm. They have such great rainbow cakes. This one's called Twilight. And I'm using one of my dabbers again. And what I'm going to do is pick up half of it will be the white and half of it will be the turquoise that you have here. So because I want the snowman's face to be quite larger than what the diameter is of this particular dabber, I'm going to start off with the turquoise, and I'm going to dab most of that gradient starting from where I want the top of the face of the snowman's face, and I'm going to just come down. So I'm just going to come down and do and just dab that on. And then obviously the white, I'm going to lean my dabber toward the white side so that I can cover that area and it can still look like a gradient. Yep. With my white, I just want to complete that, the circle, so complete that one, and I'm going to go around the whole snowman. And fill in the white areas there. So the purpose of that is it allows me to use a smaller dabber, which only allows me to pick up the two colors that I want, which is the light aqua and the white, to give it that icy look. And then I can just sort of reshape it to be a larger circle as we're applying it onto the skin. So with my number 2 round brush loaded with some black, I'm going to do the snowman's hat. And how I'm going to do that is first I'm going to make sure that we're slightly sort of where the edge of the head is. We don't want to come down too much. And I'm just going to do like a little bean on top. And then on top of that, a little arch. So I'm going to fill that in. Now I'm just going to do the 2 eyes along here. And I'm going to do a dotted smile down the bottom. I want to pick up some orange, and this is a number 3 round brush. You can use a number 2 round brush, whatever you feel comfortable in doing fine refinements with your brushes. And we're just going to go from the middle of the face and do like a sort of teardrop back, like a triangle. So that's going to be his little carrot nose. Now with that brush loaded, I'm going to do his little scarf. So before I do his scarf, I'm just going to do some little rosy cheeks. Now this may not come out too defined because I've got a little raised mole just there and it might sort of get in the way, but that's cool. 2 little circles along there. And then for his scarf, we're going to do a stroke down and across. And then for the other layer of the scarf, down and across. and then I'm going to do the hanging part of it just there. Now that's a rose pink. As my brush is still loaded, I'm going to go over it with a darker magenta. So my brush is still wet and loaded with the rose, but I'm mixing up and picking up some magenta pink that I've sprayed with my spritzer, so it's nice and ready to pick up paint, and that's going to allow me to outline. That just gives his scarf more detail. So down and down, and there we have it. His little scarf. We're going to do some detail on his scarf in a minute. Now with our number 2 round brush loaded up with our black, we're just going to come back in here and we're going to outline parts of the scarf. There we go. All right, so now with our number 2 round brush that's still loaded up with the white, I'm going to go ahead and just do some little highlights on the hat. And some highlights on the scarf. And now I'm just going to do his little twig hands, which is going to be some squiggly lines for his fingers because they're branches, and on the other end, squiggly lines. Now to finish, I just want to do some snow flakes. So just some snow coming down, and that's going to finish our little snowman. As mentioned before, it's great to have your brush super loaded when you're doing dots like these. So that allows you to spread more dots, and they just become better circles. And there you have it, a really easy Christmas snowman face, just as a little forehead design. Super popular, really quick and easy to execute. You can change the color around for the scarf. You make it an orange scarf, purple scarf, whatever face paints you have available. Anything works. So yeah, obviously you can put some glitter on this, make it look sparkly. It always works a treat for the Christmas face painting. Okay, so for this Christmas face painting design, we're going to start off with, this is going to be some holly on the side of our face. So I'm just going to start off with doing some circles, which will be the little cherries on the holly. So we're just going to go right to where the edge of our eye is, and we're going to do 3 cherries. So 1, 2, and 1 down the bottom here. And 3. Don't be shy with these. Make sure you make them large, not too large obviously, but a nice size will do. I've loaded up a 1/2 inch flat angled brush, and I've loaded up some tag leaf white, and I'm going to start with my holly. I'm going to start the top of the holly, and I'm going to start just like this and bring a curb out. So it's like a stroke out, and then from there I'm going to do another one from up the top and do like a little wave. So I'm going to do a wave out and then another one, and I'm directing the waves down to where the base is. Now I'm going to do a long one here, come in and down. Now, so yeah, it's almost like a little spider's web technique. So from here, the tip of the brush obviously is where the dark. I'm going to keep it flat, come down, and again, keep it flat and come further down like that. Now you can always use the heel of your brush. So now I'm facing down, the heel of the brush to fill in areas. So don't worry if you're not covering all of the inside of the holly. So from down, we're going to go in and down. Okay, so with the heel of the brush, I'm going to fill in those areas that I couldn't fill in. Here you have that part, which is the top part. With my brush loaded again, I'm going to do that one more time, but I'm going to do it from down the bottom. So you're basically doing exactly the same, but you're doing it from the bottom. So flat and out. Again, flat and out. And then up and in. We do that again. And then meet it to where the cherry is. So I'm just going to fill that in, connect it. Now with the one down here, I'm just going to do it very rough. Out and then in and out, because it's a smaller one down here. So there we go, out and out, and then we're going to connect it all up together to where the cherry is. Then with the heel of the brush, we're going to fill it in with the light green. Now with the tip of the brush where the dark green is, we're going to make a line right in the middle, and that way you don't have to grab another brush and get some dark green to do the inner part of the holly. So with a number 2 round brush, I'm just going to highlight everything and just make it pop a little more. You don't have to do this step. It just highlights just the edging a little bit more. Now we're going to complete it with some stars and dots. So I'll put a star up here. And another one here. And because it's Christmassy again, we do love some glitter. So I'm just going to put some glitter around. Just gives it some sparkle and just really makes it pop. And there you have it. Super easy, quick holly for you to practice at home. The white outline, as I said, isn't necessary because you're using leaf white tag or whatever split cake matches these green colors, obviously with a lime and a darker green. You won't need to really outline anything because the outline from the tip of the brush and the heel, then the solid color from the heel of the brush really makes it look as though you've already outlined and there's no need for it. So that is it. That's the top for Christmas. Super easy, really quick face painting Christmas designs that I like to just, to execute in no time really at face painting parties. As I'm recording this and I'm painting, I'm not too sure. I'm using a new camera and a different setup, so I'm not too sure whether you can see me actually stroking. I'm going to put this up anyway, because it just gives you a fair idea as to where the strokes are. I'm sure you were able to see the snowman and the head-on designs. But anyway, if you have any questions about the paints I'm using, the brushes that may suit, sponging, anything, let me know in the comments below, and I'll do my best to get back to you and give you some information, hopefully make a video to answer any of your questions. But yeah, so Merry Christmas, everyone. Hope everyone has a lovely break with their families, and it's a beautiful, peaceful time for everyone to come together, especially after all the stuff we've been through with lockdowns here and there with COVID. It's been a real crazy 2 years. So wishing everyone a very Merry Christmas, and comment below if you need any further information. And I hope these Christmas face painting designs have given you some ideas or helped you in your next Christmas face painting event. Until next time, happy painting.